Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Saturday, November 15th. I got the boys coming over this morning to 6. Right now it's 10 to 4. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about going with your gut. If you've been in business for a while, and just use plain old common sense, okay? What do I mean? Stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. If you didn't already know it, and yes, this is the weekend where we go off the rail and get on the wild side. Not really. So I thought today I'd kind of bring you up to speed, and we've been doing this over and over again numerous times, and that is I'll come up with a plan of action, and then Claude will change it, and then we'll go do this and we'll do that, and in the end result we're back at the beginning. What am I talking about? We had a customer drop off her four-wheeler, and it's a Yamaha. It's got a Warn winch on it with the twist controls on it to lift and lower. And what she said was it quit working. And if possible, could we get the button up on the handlebars? So it'd be easier instead of reaching forward trying to lift that and lower it every time. So I said, yeah. So I told Claude to test the winch. So he come back and he told me it's got a dead ground in it. It's grounding somewhere. It's a Warn winch. It's a winch that's around $600-700, and I knew she didn't want to spend that kind of money on another winch. So I did my research around and I looked at Tractor Supply had what they had, a Traveler's winch, 2,500-pound capacity. All she uses it for is just lifting and lowering her plow so she can plow her driveway in the wintertime. And she wanted the hand control things. Okay? Now, now, we had to run in and drop off my truck to have new tires put on it. So in doing so, I said, when we go in to drop my truck off, because Claude was going to have his truck dropped off when we picked mine up, I said, let's just swing into Governor Tractor Supply and pick up the one for $129, get it back, get it installed, and be done with it. And he said that, well, we looked at that one at Harbor Freight for $79, so you're saving like $50 if we go with the Harbor Freight one over the Tractor Supply one. I said, yeah, but she wants the push button on top. And so, well, we got extra push buttons. All we need is just that control box that goes with the winch. So I said, you're driving. And we're in his truck. So we drive 40 minutes to Ogdensburg, pick up a Harbor Freight one, ask him first to make sure that it has everything that Claude says he needs. The guy doesn't let him look in the box. He looks in the box and says, yes, it does. So I pay for it. We go all the way back to the shop. Guess what? It doesn't have that stock control box. It doesn't allow you to have the turn thing. It's got a remote control one, and it's got a paddle. Neither of what she asked for. What she asked for was one mounted to the top of her handlebars. The story keeps going. So, after taking the old winch out, putting in, he was going to try to make it work, putting in Harbor Freight's winch, wiring it all up, it would go out, but it wouldn't come in. And I told him, I said, plus, it's not what she wants. You have to listen to what the customer wants and give them as close to that as possible. She wants it easy on the handlebars where she can just flip a toggle switch. Not a paddle zip tied onto the handlebars, a actual switch. So, comes the next morning, and it's the box is fried or something. That when he was playing, he crossed wires, and so I said, "Look, it's not what she wants, anyways. I'm gonna run into Harbor or into Tractor Supply. They've got just the kit where it has the push button thing, on the handlebars. It's got the box, it's got the wiring, got all that. I'll go in and grab that quick, and I'll be right back. So $70 more for that. Get it back. Doesn't it not work? Now, supposedly the winch that came from Harbor Freight is not functioning properly. And now I'm back to where I was not just 2 days earlier of when we drop my truck off, let's grab a Traveler's, the $129 winch. It comes with everything we need. Bolt on, everything is, that's where I was. I took the handle, the $69 kit, took that back, swapped it for the original that I should have got the other morning, and brought it back, put it on. Everything works great. She's going to be happy. Now we're stuck with a Harbor Freight winch. What do we do? So we're going to Sam's Club yesterday in Watertown. There's Harbor Freight in Watertown too. So I said, box it up. We'll take it to them, see what they'll do. They wouldn't allow me to put it back on my card, but they would allow it to give me an exchange. So now I've got another friggin' winch that I have no use for. What am I talking about? I'm talking about sometimes when you're in business, you need to go with your gut. My gut was go with the 129 in the beginning. That would have saved a lot of time and money. All the travel time, all the putting it on, taking it off. We spent all this week just doing that. We did split a tractor apart, and he did get some forks welded. But other than that, that's it. We could have done 4 four-wheelers with winches for as many times as we had stuff on and off, and him running for tools and getting upset because his fingers don't work anymore, and swearing like it's going to help, hollering at the machine like it cares. You're going to have those weeks. You're going to have those days. And it just goes to show me that my gut instinct is right. And I need to rely on it more and just say, no, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to get some shop time in. And we're going to get paid. I thought you guys would enjoy it. I mean, the thing I always try to bring across to you guys is I'm about the most imperfect person you will ever meet. Whatever you do, don't create a business around me. Because I'm that ostrich. It's out in left field. I do have good ideas, and I do the best that I can. But in the end, you need to give it some thought before you start a project. And that is, the moral of the story is, customer tells you what they want, you try to get it as close as possible. Pay what needs to be paid because the customer is going to pay for it. Don't try running to save $50 when you're spending $40 in gas and 2 hours travel time. It doesn't add up. It's like that little dog, on the cartoons. Go with your gut. Your gut will always tell you the right direction to go. That first thought is the one to do. Don't wait and linger, because then all of a sudden it's going to Debbie Downers on everything that you thought you could do, and now you got all this other crap that you're trying to deal with. That's life in a basket. If you know your stuff, trust yourself. Trust yourself. Go with that first impulse. If that first impulse says go to Tractor Supply and pick up that winch that you end up installing in the end and is going home last night, do it. Don't spend your time running all over to these other different places and not getting anything accomplished. And that's what I told Claude yesterday when we picked up the winch. I said we're going to grab the winch so we can get it installed before we go to Watertown. And he's looking at himself like he got clean clothes on, like he doesn't want to get dirty. No, we're getting it put on. We got to get something accomplished this week, right? What else is going on? Today, my one son's coming in to hunt, so I'll sit with him till around 9:30 this morning. Then we're going to take in the cow lean-to, which is 30 by 40. It was 30 by 60, but I shortened it. We're going to put in more snow supports, uprights, because it's quite the span from the front to the back. And the cows have the tendency of getting in there. The young bulls get to fighting and pushing, and they'll snap 4x4s, 3 to 4x4s. They will snap in half. I'm telling you. So we devised this plan of action of how we're going to take. I took with the plasma cutter and cut out 255-gallon drum tops. We're going to put, I guess they call them elephant feet. It's a concrete chunk that we can set in the bottom, in a 4x4 or a 6x6 will slot right into it and lock. Okay? And then Claude's going to lift the roof up with a skid steer. Well, I'm underneath it trying to move the supports into place. And then he's going to take the skid steer and fill the 55-gallon drums full of dirt. That should be fun to watch. I should do a YouTube video on that one. I should do a YouTube video on me being asinine and being the one to volunteer to stand underneath the roof that he's lifting off its axles. You guys have a great Saturday. Put in the comments when you guys have had that, where you knew that first thing you should have gone and done because you just wasted all this time doing everything else, and now you're back to where you were in the beginning. Has that happened to you? And if it has, let's hear about it. All right, you guys have a great Saturday.